Hi there, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Elaine from Elaine's Gardening and Cooking channel. It's another gorgeous Muskoka day outside. It's raining. It's a little on the cool side, but it's not bad. So, anyway, as most of you probably already know, once fall comes, I tend to get very down in the dumps and feeling depressed because I know winter's coming. However, this year I'm planning on beating that depression. So, I'm going to do a little bit of planting today, and hopefully this show today will be especially helpful for beginners in gardening because I'm going to explain kind of step by step some of the things that I'm doing. First, a brief little update, and instead of moving the plant, what I'm going to do is cheat a little bit. I'm going to take a picture of it, and then I'll show it on the screen. Okay, so just give me 1 second here. We have a nice baby purple king pepper coming. Now, I hope you can see that in this light, but it's coming. It should be very nice, hopefully soon, because I love my peppers. Anyway, okay, so we will be doing some planting today, as I mentioned. And one of the things that I use for planting are the biodegradable egg cartons. Now, I've already filled this with soil. I didn't want to waste your time watching me fill containers with soil. So I'm sure you've seen people fill containers with soil before, so I don't want to bore you by doing that. So instead, what I'm going to do is do some planting. And hopefully this light won't be too bad for you. I know the lights are on and it does cast quite a bit of glare on here. However, okay, I tried pak choi outside this summer. Well, you know the kind of a summer Muskoka had, and I think a lot of people elsewhere had a very strange summer as well. Well, needless to say, my pak choi did absolutely nothing. It just sat there and then gone. Oh, the joys of gardening sometimes, you know. So anyway, all right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plant the pak choi into this little container. I'm going to put 2 seeds per section. Oh, I might get the odd overseeding here, but if I do, oh well, it's no big deal. And then as they grow, then what I'll do is transplant them into another pot and let them finish developing. Now, if I can find where I put my packet of seeds, I'll be doing well. There it is. Good memory, folks, just short. Oh, dear. Okay, so I got these from Stokes. They're a good quality seed company. I order from them a pretty fair bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, if you hear any barking in the background, that's my little dog. He's giving me heck because I'm not sitting out there with him. He's not a gardener, but he is my gardening supervisor. Cover these seeds very lightly with my composted cattle manure. It already has good soil and cattle manure mixed in with the soil. Hello, Chewy. There he is. My gardening supervisor, right on the job. Hey, Chewy, you're right on the job, aren't you? Good boy. It doesn't take much to cover these. And because this container is biodegradable, then all I got to do is either separate the little cubicles, plant them into separate areas, or I can just leave them and let the little plants grow up because they're very fast growing. Within about 30 to 35 days, these should be ready to pick if they all grow properly. Okay, so I've got the seed in there for the pak choi. What I'm putting in next is plain, ordinary, dollar store variety Epsom salts. Not the kind that has the scent to it. I just buy the original, the plain, ordinary, old Epsom salts. And the reason that I'm putting that in on top of the seeds is because it does help to enhance germination. It's strengthens the seed coat. When you water this in, it'll strengthen the seed coat and help it to fight against disease coming up with it or trying to snuff it out. It doesn't take a great deal. I just put kind of a sprinkling over each one, and I'll show you in a minute roughly how much I put on there. Okay, it's not a great deal, like I say. There we are. I hope you can see that. I don't want to tilt this too far because then I might lose some of my soil. And if I lose it on the computer, well, I don't need the computer to grow. You know what I mean? Okay, so what I usually do with these, anything that I plant, I just use a little popsicle stick. You can also buy these at the dollar store as well. They're very cheap. And I'm just going to put on here bok choy. Okay, and on the back, it's the 10th month, it's the 30th day. So I just put that on the back. So I can just at a glance take a look and see, well, gee, I planted that such and such a day. Then it can kind of give me a good idea how long it takes these babies to come up. So I can just stick that in there. I'll give it a little bit of water. You don't need to see me watering, but anyway, I'm going to water that up, some salts in, and just let it do its job. Let the seeds come up. Now I'm also planting cautiously. The reason being, I've noticed that a few of my seeds have been chewed, which indicates to me that I've got a rodent trying to make his presence known. I should get a cat. But the problem is, if I get a cat, the cat will be jumping all over the plants to get a mouse. So I left the mouse a little treat. I don't like doing that, but I don't like the mice eating my plants either. Okay, so I've done that. The bok choy is planted. I'm going to water that, and it will be covered in plastic to protect the seeds. And I've got an easy method of covering them. These little shot glasses actually are what they are. They're shot glasses that you buy in the dollar store. And they are absolutely ideal for covering your plants that you want to grow. So this is all I'm going to do. I know I've got one marked here, but that doesn't matter. I'm just going to put it one over each space, just like that. They're see-through. They're going to be like little mini greenhouses, and they're going to protect the seed from that raunchy little rodent. He can go and get his dinner someplace else, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so that's all you have to do with that, is just cover these over. I need 3 more. I'll get them when the show finishes. I don't need to bore you with all the details, but that's all it entails. Just cover them over. And of course, I've got to water this, so that's fine. These are going to come off. I just put them on to show you what it's going to look like and how I do it. I'm going to water them, put it back on, and before very long at all, those seeds should be up without assistance from a rodent. All right. I've got a little bottle of water here. You probably can't see it from there. There we are. Just the end of the scissors is pointing right to it. So what I want to do now, I've got some mint that I want to trim, and I want to root it. So I've cut it on an angle. I don't know if you can see the angle from there. Hopefully you can. And take off the lower leaves. Okay. Stick it in the water. Within a very short space of time, it should develop little roots. And then you can transplant to your heart's content. Okay, I'm doing the same thing with these. Cut them on the angle. And these leaves that you take off, you don't have to waste either. You can use those to make a nice pot, or a cup, I should say, of mint tea. Not enough there to make a pot, but anyway, I do love mint tea. This does not harm the mint plant at all. It doesn't harm the parent plant one bit. In fact, it appreciates being pruned a little bit. This has only got 1 leaf left on it, so I don't know. It might not root, but we're going to try it. I do, however, have some others that are rooting very, very well. I think you should be able to see the roots there. Perhaps if I stand in front of the light a little bit, you can see them. Yeah, I think you should be able to see that a little bit. So these are ready to transplant, and I'll be doing that later today, hopefully. All right. I don't know how well you can see them. Cucumber. They've got a lot of buds on them, a lot of flowers. The only problem is right now all the flowers that are on them are male. Oh dear, here we go with that male dominance again. They're always trying to take over, aren't they? So anyway, as soon as some female flowers come, then I'm going to hand pollinate them. Just like I hand pollinated this little guy. Well, then I learned another little trick from watching another show. That if you want peppers, all you got to do is take the plant, shake it a little bit. Very gently shake it. You don't have to be too rough with it. But just shake it, and then that will send your pollen from the flower where it's supposed to go. And the next thing you know, you've got some little guys coming. So that's a good thing in itself. All right. Now, what other mischief can we get into here? Ah, yes. Okay. I have taken out the beans. I've harvested the few beans that I got from it. They were good. They tasted delicious, but I didn't get that many beans. And let's face it, this is not the deepest container. So I think probably what I should do is plant the beans into a deeper container, which is what I have done, and I'm going to see how they come along. In the meantime, what I'm going to grow in here, I've refurbished it a little bit, the soil. I put in some blood meal, bone and blood meal, some eggshells, and I'm going to plant some French breakfast radish. So all I do is take the end of my Sharpie pen, put a few holes in. It's not going to grow that many, but it's just going to be like a little novelty indoor crop. Plant one seed per hole. Oh, I got two in there. Oh well. Okay, there we are. Got those planted. All I got to do then is just fill in the spots where I planted with a bit of soil. Give them a good watering. Whoop, I'm knocking my baby plants. This is my baby ruby lettuce. Don't want to knock him over. That's for sure. There we are. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to put in, sprinkle on some Epsom salts on top of the little seed bed. Oh, oh dear, I'm knocking my poor little baby lettuce plants all over the place. Okay, like I say, it doesn't take much. Like they say in the old Brill Cream commercials, a little dab will do ya. So, okay, I'll water that. I'll cover it with plastic. Let it start to develop. All right, now in here, I have some parsley seed. Now, I don't know how well you can see that, but they are in there. These were from parsley that I grew last year. It came up again, but of course, parsley is a biennial. It goes to seed the second year. So I gathered some seed from it this year. They're pretty small seeds, but I'm going to plant them in here. Just let it see what it's going to do. Cover it lightly with a little bit of soil, actually compost. A little bit of compost. A little bit of Epsom salts. Gonna water that in. And I have dated this already. I just put it right on the container. You probably can't see it too well because of this light. But anyway, it just says on there parsley and the date. So I've taken the top of the plastic bottle, and this I use to give it a little greenhouse. And I put her under the lamps, and hopefully they should grow just fine without any interference from any rodents. So we are hoping that everything goes well with that. I'll put him under the lamp right there. Okay. Now, this little fella, this is a tomato that I brought in from outdoors, and I know it's hard to see. Very hard to see in this light, but anyway. It's going a little straggly. I harvested the last few tomatoes that were on it. So what I'm going to do is nip it down, and I'm going to try to let the rest of this develop, see what it'll do. This, in the meantime, it doesn't have any buds on it or anything like that. It's got a couple of leaves here that are a bit spent looking, so I'm going to trim them off. Put them over the little container for garbage. There we go. And then I'm going to root these. And since mint and tomatoes grow so well together, I'm just going to root them right in with the mint. Easy. Easy done. Okay. Now, I'm going to take another quick pick. These are some of the little beans that were eaten, and these are coming up. So I'm really hoping that it'll do well. Hope you can see that. I know it's kind of hard showing a picture from a phone on a screen, but knowing me, if I go to move the plant in containers, I end up knocking things down. I'm just like a bull in a china shop. Anyway, okay, that's coming along well. I also have some Royal Burgundy beans. They haven't sprouted yet, but they're in. They've been in for a few days now. And, oh gosh, we have more mint. We have more salad greens. Hopefully you can see that without too much difficulty. But they're growing well. I have more salad greens coming in this pot right under this bright light. I know you can't see it because of the light, but anyway, it's in this pot right under my hand. And they have already sprouted. They've only been in there a few days. My ruby lettuce has sprouted. Gathered some seed from outside. If you can see those little tiny sprouties there, that's baby ruby lettuce. Okay, so that's the one that I keep knocking over every time I go near my former bean bed. So anyway, that's about the size of it. There's really not too much more I can tell you today. For the update, everything is still about the same. I'm keeping it nice and warm, uniformly warm at about 70, 72 degrees, uniform temperature, day and night. Now, if it starts to get really cold at night, which it's bound to once winter sets in, I also have this little guy. This is my little wax heater, and it has 6 little candles, tea light candles inside. What I do is light those, and then I cover the top with another pot so that just the heat can escape out the top. But this being ceramic, it also holds in the heat, and it really does help to keep the atmosphere nice and warm. So if it's really, really cold outside and it gets a little too cool in here, I not only have the heat but from the heater that's on, but we'll also have extra heat from this as well. And it does do a pretty good job, I must admit. Okay, I think that's about it. Thank you so much for coming in. I hope some people have watched it. I don't see any live viewers. Anyway, it will be recorded on YouTube, it'll be staying on there, so you can come in anytime and watch the channel. So thank you so much. And for now, I'm going to sign off. All I've got to do is get this cursor to the right spot. Oh dear. Doesn't seem to want to move. There we are. Okay. Thank you so much for joining, folks. And I always look forward to doing these shows. I'm sorry I couldn't do it yesterday. We had a problem with the computer. It has a mind of its own. However, we're going to keep you updated as best as possible. And in the meantime, I'm signing off for now. Bye-bye. And don't forget, happy gardening. Bye for now.